So Hume just released the Hume Band 2.0, and I can tell you right now, this is not one of those updates or upgrades where they change the box or move like a little button over to the side a couple millimeters and then call this a
revolutionary upgrade.
Definitely not that. The new band is lighter, is way more comfortable, battery life, and the biggest one for me is the new charger for it. Doesn't feel like it was designed by somebody that was on lunch break, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But it's not perfect. The charging dock can still be a little bit finicky, which I have discovered, and I will get into that later. Also, some of the bigger health scores need a little bit more context, and then also the premium may or may not be worth paying for. So stick with me. So let's talk about what actually is better, what still needs to be worked on, and whether the Hume 2.0 band made it on your list. So let's go, guys. Quick disclaimer, guys. So Hume did send me the 2.0 band. They are sponsoring this video, but they are hearing the same honest opinions and reviews as you are right now, including the things that I do not love. So sponsors can pay for my time, but they cannot pay for my conclusion. So I always save that for you guys. So I have worn the Hume 2.0 band days and while sleeping for over a month now. So that has actually given the app to collect a ton of data. So instead of me opening up a empty dashboard and pretending there's a bunch of metrics in there and then acting like I have discovered
the secret to immortality.
Also, please understand that this is a consumer wellness device. This is not a doctor on your wrist, a wellness tracker. It's a tracker, trends, things like that, wellness device. It is not a doctor. Please keep that in mind. Please. And I would never make an important health decision based on a wearable by itself. So the first improvement I did notice was not the app itself. It was actually the physical band. So the band is super light. It's lighter, feels way better on your wrist. And basically when you're wearing it, in my opinion, it doesn't even feel like it's there. Like it's very light, which I'm a huge fan of, especially for like a tracker. A tracker cannot track anything if it's sitting on your nightstand next to you at night. So the fact that to me it barely feels like it's there is a plus in my book. So the original band was not terrible, and I will do some comparisons between the original Hume Band and this one. So the original one was not terrible, but I did notice when I slept a lot that the band would get dislodged, like pushed over in my sleep or shifted off to the side, and they wouldn't track data very well. This one actually have not had any issues with that. That is a plus. And then obviously, you know, with that happening, you get gaps in your data, which obviously that's not what we want. It's not what we want, is it? And to be fair, that was partly a fit issue on my end. Like, you know, I eventually started just strapping it down just a little bit tighter to help prevent that, but that can make it uncomfortable. And because of that, my data appears to be tracking more consistently now that the band is not shifting everywhere on the overnight, and the data appears to stay more reliably and closely. I'm intentionally saying appears and feels here because I did not compare this band against like medical grade sleep equipment. So what I cannot tell you is that everything in here individually is more accurate. What I can tell you is that I'm seeing fewer gaps in my own real data, and that is a huge plus. And that is an improvement that actually matters for daily use. So battery life has probably been one of the biggest highlights for this upgrade. The original Hume Band was about 4 to 5 days. Hume advertises this one as up to 14 days. In the up to, you need to keep in quotes because that can vary, because like I just said, how many times you go into the app, how many times you manually sync your data, and it's just all of these different things can vary. So up to means 14 days is probably the max. So I'm not going to manufacture some exact laboratory number for this. That's not what I'm going to do. So like I said, up to 14 days. We know what this means for battery life, guys, give or take a few. So the new charging dock, this is a massive improvement for me. The original one, I was not a huge fan of. I just didn't like how the mechanism worked, but the new one, the magnetic dock, it looks better, 100% feels better. It's easy to pack and go if you want to take it, if you travel a lot. It feels way more premium to utilize the magnetic dock. It's just so much easier to just drop it and go rather than having to pull back the little tab and then perfectly align the Hume Band into the other dock. The original one was not a huge fan. The only caveat to the magnetic one is what I have noticed in my testing is that the connectors are kind of finicky. They can be a little sensitive. So if you leave the band on like this, and then you connect the dock here and you drop it not like that, and you connect it and then you set it down, like sometimes it'll stay charged. But I think the magnets are just slightly underpowered to where it doesn't make a solid connection. This isn't all the time, this is just sometimes, but it won't charge. So I'll just have to like just kind of press on the top just a little bit there, and it'll make the connection stable, like more solid. Like I said, it happens every now and again, not all the time. That is just one thing I brought up. It's just the magnets probably be just a little bit stronger in the dock. But Other than that, the mechanism is way better than the original. It's way more intuitive and it's more seamless. It's easy to just drop and go. It's not a deal breaker. Like I said, just give it a quick glance before you walk away.
Okay.
W.
Probably my favorite thing about the Hume products is their app, because you do not need some premium subscription to utilize their app or get 99% of their data, like the functionality of your device. That is the biggest thing for me. So the free experience is going to give you all the main data that most people that are tracking these metrics care about. So that includes heart rate variability, step stages, and sleep quality, stress, blood oxygen, strain, recovery, and other daily trends. So what you are seeing here is my actual band tab. This is not a demo account. This is 100% me. This is my real data. This is my data with the flattering and not so flattering parts included. Thank you. The value is not simply that the band produces a vast amount of metrics. There's plenty of wearables that do that. The useful part is being able to look at the trends and then being able to ask some appropriate questions. Did I sleep worse because I stayed up too late? Did yesterday take more out of me than I realized? Am I recovering normally? Or is today the day that I choose not to become the next Olympian athlete? So the daily capacity score combines recent activity. We got recovery, we got sleep. It takes those into a simple readiness style score. So I treat that score as like a suggestion, not instruction from the fitness gods. If the score matches how I feel, then that can be a useful nudge to push a little harder. But if the score and my body disagree, then I'm going to back off for the day. So the app also utilizes metabolic momentum, and that's Hume's way of showing you if what you're doing from day to day is actually moving your health trends in a positive way or in a negative way. You may also see things like pace of aging, the estimated days of life added. Those are interesting and like attention grabbing ways to visualize your trends, but I would not take them literally. It's like having one good night of sleep, it doesn't give you like a receipt showing you the exact amount of hours that you just added to your life. It doesn't work that way. Think of these as like motivational estimates built from your data, not a countdown clock controlled by the universe. The free version gives you most of the metrics that the average person is going to care about. Premium is not required to make this useful at all. What the premium app provides more interpretation. You just get more detailed reports, longer term trends, you get personalized insights, and features such as biological and physiological age estimates. So instead of the app just showing you that a score changed, it actually tries to show you why it changed and what may have contributed to that change and what habit you could work on next. That can make a data heavy app much easier to understand, especially if opening a HRV graph normally makes you feel like you just opened a spreadsheet at work. But premium is a deeper analysis layer. It is not necessary if you mainly want sleep, recovery, activity, like heart rate data, and your daily scores. Start with the free version, use it for a while, and decide if you want that extra interpretation or not. The premium also includes some more ambitious health reports, like biological age, for example. It takes data and estimates how your current trends are affecting your biological age or how they compare with your actual age. And that can be interesting and it can be very motivating, but it is still an app generated estimate. It is not an objective measurement of exactly how old your body is. Hume also has a chronic illness report. It's designed to surface like longer term patterns and areas you may want to pay attention to. And this report does not tell you that you have or will develop a disease. At most, I would use something like this for like an awareness tool or a reason to have a proper conversation with a healthcare professional. Interesting? Yes. A replacement for medical testing? Absolutely not. If you also have the Hume Pod, the ecosystem becomes way more useful. So the same app can compare your wearable trends and body composition with body composition estimates such as body fat and muscle mass. I like having that information together. Recovery data tells one part of your story and then body composition tells a completely different side of the story. But I'm not going to say this completes a medical grade story of your body. That is not what I'm going to say. Health wearables, trend tracking things are for estimates. They both produce estimates and trends. They are not used to diagnose or anything like that. So the advantage here is convenience, because Hume puts its devices and its interpretations in one area. The pod is also completely optional. The Hume 2.0 band works on its own, so do not feel like you have to have both to be able to utilize either side of this stuff. So if you're comparing like the Hume 2.0 band to like Whoop and Fitbit and Oura and even Apple Watches, the right choice for you depends on what you actually want. Fitbit offers familiar activity and wellness tracking in several different device styles. Whoop is strongly associated with training, strain, and recovery, and Oura puts sleep and recovery recovery tracking into a ring. Hume's angle is a lightweight, screenless band that brings recovery, sleep, and longer-term wellness trends into the same app, and it still gives you a meaningful amount of data without having to buy premium. I would not call it automatically better than every one of those that I mentioned. It is a different balance of comfort, battery life, insights, subscription value, and smartwatch features. So if you want notifications, maps, and apps on your wrist, this is probably not a device for you. If you want something that you can wear and forget about and then want to check your data anytime you want to, the Band 2.0 makes a lot more sense. Has the Hume 2.0 band earned its place? For me, absolutely, 100%, but with a couple of qualifications. The biggest improvements are not the fancy health marketing flashy phrases. They are things that I actually notice every day, but this definitely feels like a real second generation product. There have been multiple updates, software updates, and obviously the 2.0 had a massive update too. But the updates to the app and their data and how they track have been awesome as well. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
So the 2.0 band makes way more sense for someone who wants like a screen-free health tracking, very lightweight health tracker. And it makes way less sense for someone who's wanting a GPS tracker on their wrist, maps, screens. I mean, I get it. So if you want to check it out, as usual, I will have a link in the description, guys. So make sure you check it out down there. Link in the description. Hume has also listed the band as HSA and FSA eligible, so keep that in mind too. And this is for customers in the United States, but make sure you check out the rules on your own plan, just saying. And again, you do not need the premium, just throwing that out there. That is a huge thing for me. If you've watched my first video, the subscription stuff, that is a massive thing for me. So you do not need premium, you don't. So now I want to know what you guys think. Would you rather have a screen-free tracker, or do you like having that little screen on your wrist, but for health tracking? Do you want a screen? Do you want touch stuff? Do you want notifications? What do you want? Let me know. So if this honest follow-up helped you guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. And this is Adam from Too Good Tech, and I will see you guys in the next one, man. Deuces.